This week's Parsha, Parshas Vayechi, finds Yaakov Avinu, our forefather Jacob, on his deathbed. He calls out one last time to his sons to speak to them before his passing. Vayomer, and he says, Hiasvu v'yagid lachem, gather and I will tell you, Is asher yikra eschem acharis hayamim, what will happen to you at the end of time. Rashi explains, Bikish l'galos etaketz. Yaakov wanted to reveal when the end of time would come to his children. Nistalka shchina mimenu. However, the divine presence left him, Omer Dvarim Achirim, and instead he started to talk about other things. What is Yaakov's goal here? Why does he want to reveal when the end of time will come to his children? Yaakov had in mind the Bris Ben Sarim, the covenant between his grandfather Abraham and God. In that covenant, Abraham is told, Va'abadum v'inosam, your children will be in exile, they will be enslaved, and they will be afflicted. Yaakov knows that eventually his children will get out. They will leave Egypt and return to the land of Canaan. His goal is to minimize the loss, to make sure that as few Jews as possible are assimilated into Egyptian society. The plan then is to tell his children when that time will be. When will it be that God will bring them out of Egypt and take them back to the land of Canaan? By doing so, he hopes to give them a light at the end of the tunnel, a hope that eventually the Geulah, the redemption, will come, and ask them to then stay true to their Judaism. However, it doesn't work. The end of time is hidden from Yaakov, and so instead he starts talking about something else. But the goal remains the same. How does this something else then accomplish this goal of keeping his children and grandchildren from assimilating? Yaakov turns to each one of his sons and talks to them about them individually. Sometimes their strengths, sometimes their weaknesses, but personalized, always telling them about what they should hold on to. The goal seems to be, if you can remain true to yourself, you can remain true to your God. This concept is stated by C.S. Lewis in the Screwtape Letters. For those who may not be familiar, the Screwtape Letters is written from the point of view of the devil. Screwtape is a senior devil, and he's giving advice to a more junior devil who's trying to convince his patient, the person that he influences, to sin. Screwtape says as follows: as a preliminary to detaching him from the enemy, meaning God, you want to detach him from himself, meaning that if you want to draw a person away from God, you need to draw them away from themselves. He goes on to say, it is always desirable to substitute the standards of the world or convention or fashion for you humans' own real likings and dislikings. Similarly, you should always try to make the patient abandon the people or food or books he really likes in favor of the best people, the right food, and the important books. What Screwtape is advising is, if you want a person to sin, you need to separate him not from God only, that's the end goal, but first to separate them from themselves. Make sure they lack individuality, substitute it for conformity, for what's right in other people's eyes rather than their own. This is Yaakov's message, and this is his plan for how to keep his children and grandchildren true to the true religion, how they will survive in the exile, not by doing what the Egyptians like, not by doing what fashion likes, not by doing what other people like, but to do what they themselves think is correct. As we enter the solar year 2021, we find ourselves in a society that is preaching conformity. Yaakov urges us to stay true to ourselves, stay true to our values, and stay true to our God. Good Shabbos.